Hey everybody, gonna do it a little bit different this week. Totally shorter lap, and I'm gonna take you along here. Gonna ride a whole first lap with me, completely unedited. I thought, because this lap was right at 4 miles exactly, it took me 20 minutes, I think 19 minutes and something was the official time on the first lap. But because of that, I thought it would be a good one to take you guys along. Mandy always accuses me of editing out all my wrecks and all the super slow parts. So sit back and enjoy, and we're going to go on a whole lap with me and see what it's like to race a hare scramble. A ton of fun. You can see clearly we're in southern Missouri. Lots of rocks. We like our rocks down here. This race was in Peace Valley, Missouri. Right out of the start, had a pretty good downhill and a short little uphill. I'm sure I'll say this again, but as the video goes on, keep in mind GoPros never do justice to steepness of hills. I think the combination of the fisheye lens and the fact that you're looking up the hill or down the hill never makes it as intimidating as it is in real life. This course was about 3 miles of really super fun, flowy trail and about a mile of misery. See, pretty early on I kind of fall behind the leaders of my class. For the season now, there's about 50 guys in my class. That season, there was 21, I believe, on the line to start this race. Coming up here shortly, I made a mistake. I'm sitting right about in the middle of the pack, and I make just the littlest mistake here in a minute. Boy, I let a whole bunch of people get by me. A lot of racing isn't necessarily being fast, but it's being able to know when to pass, and some of this tighter stuff, I've got a group of guys behind me right now, but I'm just fast enough that they can't all get around me. That guy gets around me there, gets in my head a little bit on his pass. He messed me up, and then there they go. Killed the bike. That mistake right there just probably cost me 5 places. 6. I didn't even count them. You guys can go back and rewind if you really want to know. When I finished this lap, I was in 17th place. We're still in the fun, faster section. That was a nice pass there by him. He took opportunity there. The trail got a little wide, and he was ready. That was a good pass. You can see it's kind of whooped out. That's those bumps in it. Relatively fast and smooth other than that. Endurance is still a major issue for me. that's getting better. I remember a year ago I started racing, a year ago in February, so this race was, I've been racing right at a year, and I remember just finishing a lap that was huge. Now I'm finishing 4. There I'm talking to that rider. I don't know what I said. I don't know if I got one behind me trying to pass. I think that's what it is. I think there's somebody right behind me. I yelled, "No, no, no, watch out." I didn't want to give him my spot. This was a fun place to race. Had some steep hills. And look at the off camber of this. That's not me necessarily tilting my head. We're riding on the side of a ridge.
Go up! Go up!
Telling that guy to go to the high side. He wants around me. He's pushing me. And I'm not a good enough rider. That has a lot to do with the endurance. I fight my bike and I get tired. He's right behind me, and I'm afraid it's going to make me wreck. I want him to get around me if he's going to do it, but I don't want to stop. Do what I just did and let 5 people around. If he's that good, he needs to get around me. Well, that's my opinion anyway. It's worth about what you paid for this video. If you're way faster than me or I have a good spot, I'll try to let you out of the way, but oh, mind the language. That was a bad time to pass. He didn't pick a good time. Guess I'm gonna have to change the rating on my videos, PG-13. More off-camber stuff. This was the first really good downhill right here. There was actually a guy got hurt on this. Pretty steep downhill. Alright, it opens up into this little straightaway in the bottom. There's a nice pass by that guy, well timed. This straightaway was longer than I thought it was. I should have been gassing on it through here. I mean, just letting her eat. It was a lot longer. Now, I made a lap in practice. So this first lap of the race, but it's actually the second time I've been through the course. And in practice, right there on that corner, loose rock, that's all like gravel, and my front end washed out and I went down right there. I'd wrecked. Didn't hurt, but I was a little timid. That's a neat little spot right there. You have to go back in time if you want to see it, but you can do that on video. That was a big rock, and it had 2 rocks together, and it was a big rock, but if you hit your front tire you could basically go right between the 2 of them. But I had a unintended get off on that little corner in practice. This is a tight little pine forest section on top of this ridge. Any poor individual stuck behind me in this, just gonna have to wait. Look at me, I'm such a nice guy. Gotta quit being so nice in these races. Can't help it. Guess it's just my positive, outgoing nature. Another pretty steep downhill here. This course originally had 2.5 more miles on it, but you had to cross the creek. The creek you can see to your left there, but it flooded too much, and they couldn't find good spots to cross. So they added distance and kept us all on one side of the creek. Really got to give it to Chili and the crew for putting together a track for us to race on when conditions didn't want to play. We call this, coming up here, this is Tony's hill. Tony loved this hill. Real steep, like super straight up right there. Then it levels out. You kind of see the incline, but it's like a logging road. But you're probably going up a 40 degree, 35, 40 degree. It's super steep. Listen to that bike eat. Gas it! Be'd be proud of me there. That was a fun hill. Something else climbing a hill that steep at 40 miles an hour. Back in rock country again. We have rock gardens. What goes up must come down. And we start our descent again. Boy, you hear my breathing. There's a couple of turns on these downhills where you really did feel like if you missed the turn, you might be in a bit of trouble. All right, when we get to the bottom of this hill, we get into the carnage section. I think they called this Finish Hill, and it was just super steep, rocky, traction, and it gave me trouble. I eventually, as the day went on, I eventually did make it up this hill a couple times without any mishaps, but I'll just be quiet and let you guys watch for a few minutes. See all the bikes down? Trying to feather the clutch. Definitely wrong gear selection. About got ran over there. You had to hit that with all you had in second gear. And once you lost momentum, this is what happens. I apologize to that guy, but I think he knows I didn't wreck on purpose. This guy in a KTM jacket here, I don't know who he is, but if you're watching, super huge shout out thanks to you. This is kind of the racing community. There were people on this hill all day just picking bike up after bike up after bike up.
Thanks, man. They get it in the right gear.
Not asking for anything but for you to do the same for them.
You're the man.
He gave me what I needed to get up and get out of the way. Get out of the middle of the trail. I did not stop intentionally there. I just lost all traction. People say woods racing isn't a, what do they call that, spectator sport. Shoot, it's one of the few sports you get to play when you spectate. I want to thank those guys again. Just nice people. I don't even know their names. There's all the folks out watching. Finish hill. A lot of carnage. Everybody likes a wreck. This was the first lap. On the third lap, I finally made it. It took me 3 tries because of practice lap, first and second lap, before I finally could make it up. My third and fourth lap, I made it all the way up that hill. Pretty good nonstop. Found the right gear. And on the next lap, I think I would have made it, but I got into traffic. I hit it with a bunch of other bikes, and just like that guy that I wrecked, had a couple people go down right in front of me and just lost momentum. That's all it takes. Nice rock garden when you're all worn out. And then right in here it starts to smooth back out. We'll get fast and flowy here again in a minute. Just shout out, if you don't like my commentary, just hit the volume button and turn it off. If you do, well, subscribe to my channel. Right now, I think I got 10 subscribers, and my mother's 7 of them. Thanks, Mom. Aunt Trish and Uncle Mark, thanks for watching. Pop, thanks for everything you do. Your check's in the mail. Oh, that was a fun little hill. It was almost a ditch, but you could totally get your momentum. You hit it, you go downhill fast enough that you could just fly up it. And there was like brake bumps on the top where people go over it and hit the gas. And if you hit it fast enough, you actually jumped right over top of them. Alright, you get 20 feet from the trail unless it's a tape section. And if it's a tape section, you're not allowed outside of the tape. I gotta say this for being. Into the woods we go. Hey, there's my best friend, fan club, mechanic, driver, Mommy and B-Man. There it is, guys. One full lap, completely unedited, unadulterated. 4 miles of fun. Thanks for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, I appreciate it. See you next Sunday, everybody. One full Missouri Hare Scramble lap.